Chosen one, you were told to watch this message for a reason. Chosen one, stop everything right now, because this message may help you more than you realize. Chosen one, now listen carefully. Have you noticed that something has quietly changed inside your family? Small misunderstandings are becoming bigger. Peace disappears for no clear reason. Someone you love seems emotionally distant, spiritually tired, or different than before. Most people think these are ordinary problems, but what if they are the first warning signs of a spiritual battle already taking place? The enemy understands something many people don't. He knows that if he cannot stop the purpose God placed inside you, he will try to weaken the people standing closest to you. He does not always attack through fear or disaster. Sometimes he works through division, distraction, unforgiveness, constant pressure, and silent distance until a family slowly falls apart without realizing what is happening. That is why I brought you here today, not to fill your heart with fear, but to open your eyes before it is too late. Before this message ends, I will reveal what many believers never recognize until they have already lost their peace, and I will show you what heaven wants you to do to protect the people you love. My child, hear this short message, because God interrupted your entire day to say something about your closest family. Before you begin worrying about what might happen, I want you to understand something that many believers never fully realize. The enemy does not attack what has no purpose. He does not waste his time fighting empty lives. He does not spend his energy trying to destroy what carries no kingdom assignment. He always attacks what heaven intends to use. That is why your family matters so much. Long before you were born, I already knew your name. I knew every generation before you. I knew every generation after you. I knew every prayer your grandparents would pray. I knew every tear your parents would cry. I knew every battle your children would someday face. Nothing about your family has ever been hidden from me. While you were growing up, you only saw ordinary moments. Family dinners, simple conversations, arguments, celebrations, birthdays, losses. But I saw something much bigger. I saw a family carrying purpose. I saw generations connected together through my plan. I saw people who would someday encourage one another during difficult seasons. I saw prayers that would protect future generations before they were even born. And because I see what the enemy also notices, I understand why your family has experienced certain battles that never seem to make sense. Have you ever wondered why peace inside your home sometimes disappears without any clear reason? One day, everyone is laughing together. The next day, simple conversations suddenly become arguments. Words are misunderstood. Patience disappears. Small problems become large conflicts. People stop talking honestly. Distance slowly replaces closeness. Most people believe these things simply happen because life is stressful. Sometimes stress certainly plays a role. People become tired. People become overwhelmed. People make mistakes. That is part of being human. But there are also moments when something deeper is taking place. The enemy understands something many people overlook. He knows that if he can weaken the relationships inside a family, he can weaken the confidence of every individual living within it. Because a divided family struggles to pray together. A divided family struggles to encourage one another. A divided family struggles to recognize God's direction. And once division enters the home, fear begins replacing faith. My child, notice how quietly this usually happens. Rarely does division arrive all at once. Instead, it begins with something that appears very small. A conversation left unfinished. An apology never spoken. A misunderstanding ignored. An offense carried longer than it should have been. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. Eventually, two people who once understood each other begin living like strangers. That is never my desire. I never created families simply to share the same house. I created families to carry one another through life. To pray together. To forgive quickly. To remind each other that hope still exists even when circumstances become difficult. This is why protecting your family is not only an emotional responsibility. It is a spiritual responsibility. The strongest homes are not the homes without problems. They are the homes that refuse to let problems become permanent walls. Perhaps someone watching this message has recently felt something changing inside their family. Maybe your child has become unusually quiet. Maybe your spouse seems emotionally distant. Maybe someone who once laughed freely now carries constant anxiety. Maybe conversations have become shorter. Maybe forgiveness has become harder. Maybe everyone is physically together, but spiritually far apart. If this describes your situation, do not lose hope, because recognizing the problem is often the first step toward healing. The enemy wants you to believe it is already too late. He wants you to believe nothing can change. He wants you to believe your family will never recover. But that is a lie. I specialize in restoring what people believe cannot be restored. I restore broken hearts. I restore broken relationships. I restore broken faith. I restore broken homes. There is nothing beyond my ability to heal. But healing begins with awareness. Because you cannot protect what you refuse to notice. Many people pray for miracles while ignoring the warning signs I have already placed before them. They ask me to heal relationships while continuing habits that damage those same relationships. They ask for peace while refusing forgiveness. They ask for unity while allowing pride to remain. My child, revival inside a family often begins with one person. One person willing to forgive first. One person willing to pray first. One person willing to choose peace instead of winning an argument. One person willing to trust me before trusting emotions. Perhaps that person is you. Perhaps that is why you are watching this message today. Not because your family is beyond hope, but because I have chosen you to become the beginning of something new. You keep asking me to change everyone around you. Yet today I am asking something different. Will you become the first person who brings my peace back into your home? Will you become the first person who chooses grace instead of anger? Will you become the first person who speaks life instead of frustration? Because transformation usually begins with one obedient heart. Think about light. A single candle cannot remove every shadow in the world, but it completely changes the darkness inside the room where it burns. That is exactly what I desire to do through you. Do not underestimate quiet faithfulness. Do not underestimate gentle words. Do not underestimate consistent prayer. Do not underestimate simple acts of kindness. Small moments of obedience often produce the greatest miracles. Your family does not need perfection. Your family needs my presence. And my presence grows wherever humility, forgiveness, patience, and love are welcomed. That is why I interrupted your day. Not simply to warn you, but to prepare you. Because what I desire to protect is far more valuable than anything money could ever buy. Your family is not just part of your life. It is one of the greatest assignments I have entrusted to you. My child, there is something I need you to understand before we go any further. The enemy rarely begins by attacking your family with something obvious. He does not usually announce his arrival. He does not walk through the front door. He slips in quietly. He hides inside ordinary moments. He works through small compromises that seem harmless in the beginning. That is why so many families never realize they are under attack until they look back and wonder, where did our peace go? Peace is not usually stolen in one day. It is stolen one conversation at a time. One offense at a time. One distraction at a time. One ignored prayer at a time. One busy schedule at a time. Until eventually everyone lives under the same roof but no longer truly knows each other. Look carefully at today's world. Families spend hours in the same house. Yet everyone is looking at a different screen. Parents no longer know what burdens their children carry. Children no longer know what keeps their parents awake at night. Husbands and wives speak about responsibilities but stop speaking about their hearts. The enemy loves this. Because silence creates distance. Distance creates misunderstanding. Misunderstanding creates division. And division weakens the spiritual strength of an entire home. But my child, I never created your family to survive. I created your family to flourish. I created your home to become a place where people encounter my peace. A place where broken hearts recover. A place where faith grows stronger. A place where future generations learn what my love truly looks like. That is why protecting your family begins long before danger appears. It begins by protecting the atmosphere inside your home. Ask yourself honestly, what atmosphere fills your home today? When someone walks through your front door, do they immediately feel peace? Or do they immediately feel tension? Do your words bring hope? Or do they increase anxiety? Does your home encourage prayer? Or has prayer quietly disappeared from your daily life? These questions are not meant to condemn you. They are meant to awaken you. Because atmosphere is built little by little. Just as darkness slowly enters a room after sunset, peace slowly leaves a home when it is no longer intentionally protected. This is why gratitude matters. This is why forgiveness matters. This is why speaking kindly matters. This is why praying together matters. These are not religious routines. These are spiritual protections. Every prayer spoken inside your home changes something you cannot see. Every act of forgiveness weakens the enemy's influence. Every moment of patience strengthens your family more than you realize. You may think your quiet prayers are unnoticed, but heaven hears every one of them. Your children may never know how many nights you prayed for them. Your spouse may never know how many times you asked me to protect them. But I know, and I never ignore faithful prayers. There are angels assigned to protect what is surrendered to me. There is strength released where faith remains alive. There is protection where people continue trusting me even during difficult seasons. Many families believe they only need me during emergencies. But the strongest families are the ones who invite me into ordinary days. Not only during sickness. Not only during financial trouble. Not only during crisis. But every day. When they wake up. When they eat together. When they make decisions. When they celebrate. When they grieve. When they laugh. When they cry. They make room for me. And wherever I am welcomed, fear loses its authority. My child, I also want you to remember something else. Not every battle affecting your family began with your generation. Some struggles have existed for many years. Perhaps your parents experienced the same conflicts. Perhaps your grandparents carried the same fears. Perhaps certain habits have quietly passed from one generation to another. But today, I want you to hear this clearly. Every unhealthy pattern can stop with someone who chooses obedience. It does not have to continue through your children. It does not have to become your family's future. The cycle ends where surrender begins. Perhaps that person is you. Perhaps I chose you because you are willing to say, "My family will be different. My home will become a place of peace. My children will know my presence. My marriage will honor God. My family will not live in constant fear." Those words carry power. Because faith changes direction. Every generation has someone who decides. It ends here. Maybe previous generations lived without forgiveness. You can choose forgiveness. Maybe previous generations lived with constant anger. You can choose peace. Maybe previous generations ignored prayer. You can become the one who brings prayer back into your home. Never underestimate what one surrendered heart can accomplish. History changes because one person chooses obedience. Families change because one person refuses to give up. Homes change because one person continues believing even when nobody else does. My child, do not become discouraged if you do not immediately see results. Seeds do not become trees overnight. Healing takes time. Trust grows over time. Relationships grow stronger over time. But every act of obedience plants another seed. Every prayer plants another seed. Every kind word plants another seed. Every decision to forgive plants another seed. Eventually, those seeds become the harvest your family desperately needs. One day your children may never fully understand why their home felt different from everyone else's. They may simply remember peace. They may simply remember love. They may simply remember parents who prayed. Parents who forgave. Parents who trusted God. And that memory will become one of the greatest gifts they ever receive. Because inheritance is not only money. The greatest inheritance you can leave your family is faith. Real faith. Living faith. Faith that remains strong when life becomes difficult. Faith that teaches future generations where true security is found. The world teaches people to protect possessions. But I teach my children to protect relationships. Because possessions can be replaced. People cannot. And before I bless your family with greater opportunities, I first want to strengthen the foundation underneath them. Because blessings last much longer when they are built upon peace, unity, wisdom, and my presence. So today, do not only pray for protection. Become someone who creates protection. Protect your words. Protect your attitudes. Protect your priorities. Protect the atmosphere inside your home. Protect your relationships. Protect the hearts I have placed in your care. Because your family is one of heaven's greatest gifts to you, and it is worth protecting with everything you have. My child, there is a question I want you to ask yourself honestly. What is your family truly fighting? Many people believe they already know the answer. They say it is money. They say it is stress. They say it is work. They say it is personality differences. They say it is bad timing. Sometimes those things are real, but very often they are only the surface. Beneath every visible battle, there is usually an invisible one. That is why two families can experience the exact same financial pressure, yet one grows closer while the other falls apart. Two marriages can face the same hardship, yet one becomes stronger while the other slowly breaks. Two parents can raise children in similar circumstances, yet one home remains filled with peace while the other becomes filled with confusion. The difference is not always the situation. The difference is the spiritual foundation beneath the situation. A house built upon solid rock does not avoid storms. It survives them. A family built upon my presence does not avoid difficulty. It learns how to remain united while walking through it. This is why I keep calling my children back to me. Not because I want religion. I want relationship. Because where my presence is welcomed, wisdom begins replacing fear. Patience begins replacing anger. Compassion begins replacing pride. Understanding begins replacing assumptions. Think about the last disagreement that happened inside your family. Was the problem really the words that were spoken? Or had frustration already been growing quietly for weeks? Most arguments do not begin when voices become loud. They begin much earlier. When people stop listening. When appreciation disappears. When gratitude becomes rare. When everyone expects to be understood but nobody slows down enough to understand someone else. The enemy knows this pattern. He knows that if he can make people feel unheard long enough, they will eventually stop speaking honestly. Once honest communication disappears, assumptions begin taking its place. Assumptions create fear. Fear creates distance. Distance creates loneliness. Loneliness creates vulnerability. And vulnerability often opens doors that should never have been opened. My child, protect communication inside your home. Do not only speak. Listen. Not just to words. Listen to hearts. Sometimes your child is not asking for advice. They are asking to be understood. Sometimes your husband is not asking for solutions. He is asking to know someone still believes in him. Sometimes your wife is not asking for perfection. She is asking to know she is still seen. People rarely remember every sentence spoken to them, but they always remember how those conversations made them feel. That is why your words carry far more power than you realize. A single sentence can build courage. A single sentence can destroy confidence. A single sentence can bring healing. A single sentence can leave wounds that remain for years. Choose your words carefully, because once words leave your mouth, they begin building something, either peace or pain. I want your home to become a place where people breathe easier after entering. Not because life is perfect, but because love is present. Imagine your children growing up knowing they can tell the truth without fear. Imagine your spouse knowing mistakes will be met with grace instead of humiliation. Imagine your family praying together before making important decisions. Imagine disagreements ending with forgiveness instead of silence. That kind of home changes generations. The world teaches people that strength means always being right. I teach my children that strength often means choosing humility. It takes very little strength to win an argument. It takes tremendous strength to protect a relationship. Sometimes love says, "I understand." Sometimes love says, "I forgive you." Sometimes love says, "I was wrong." Those words have healed more families than pride ever has. Do not wait until everything feels broken before protecting what I have already given you. Healthy families are built during ordinary days. They are built through daily kindness, daily patience, daily encouragement, daily prayer, daily forgiveness. Small acts repeated consistently create extraordinary homes. Never underestimate consistency. One sincere prayer every morning. One encouraging conversation every evening. One meal shared without distractions. One moment spent reading my word together. Those moments seem small, yet heaven sees them differently. Every one of those moments becomes another stone strengthening the foundation of your family. One day, when storms arrive, and they will, your family will discover that those simple habits quietly prepared them for difficult seasons. My child, another danger I want you to recognize is comparison. Comparison has quietly stolen joy from countless families. People compare marriages. Parents compare children. Families compare lifestyles. Social media has made this even worse. People compare someone else's highlight reel with their own private struggles. They begin believing they are failing simply because someone else appears happier. Do not fall into that trap. You never see the full story. Many smiles hide tears. Many beautiful photographs hide broken conversations. Many successful families are privately struggling in ways nobody else knows. Stop measuring your family against everyone else's. Measure your family against the purpose I have given you. Your assignment is unique. Your journey is unique. Your timing is unique. Your victories will also be unique. Be faithful where I have placed you. Celebrate progress instead of demanding perfection. Every family grows differently. Every season teaches something different. Do not despise slow growth. Strong trees grow slowly. Strong faith grows slowly. Strong families grow slowly. But once those roots are deep, storms lose much of their power. My child, I know some of you watching feel discouraged. You are thinking, my family is already too divided. My marriage has already changed. My children have already drifted away. Listen carefully. As long as I remain God, hope remains alive. No relationship is beyond my reach. No heart is too hard for me to soften. No home is too broken for me to restore. I have restored families that everyone else believed were finished. I have healed relationships after years of silence. I have reunited people who believed they would never speak again. I still perform miracles. And sometimes my greatest miracles begin with one person deciding, I will trust God first. Perhaps today, that person is you. Remember, my child, no matter what tomorrow brings, you will never face it alone. I am with you. I have always been with you. And I will always be with you.